Assalamu alaikum. I am Shaheen Umar and welcome to Prime Live. We welcome Brendon Peterson, our tech guru, for today's conversation. As we explore the exciting world of tech, we'll tap into your expert knowledge to discuss the latest trends and innovations in the industry, particularly focusing on the much anticipated launch of Honor's XC7, X7C, and X9C phones. Stay tuned for inside speculation and tech buzz that will get your circuits firing. Hi, Brendon. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
With the constant evolution of technology, it's hard to keep up. Which trends are you most excited about this year and why?
When it comes to tech and the trends, there's so many things going on this year, but a lot of them really are just evolutions and refinements of things we saw last year. So, AI has been a big thing. It's not going away. It's going to continue to evolve and to grow, but it's the way we're using these technologies that's changing this year.
Yes, 100%. With the mobile market also so highly competitive, how do you think Honor's new X7C and X9C phones will do this year?
Well, these phones are actually quite interesting. In all honesty, I've actually had them for quite a while. I've had them for a few months. So I've had the privilege of being able to test them out. These are on a sort of more affordable, approachable devices. They obviously do amazing flagships and sort of industry-leading foldable phones as well. But these ones are sort of more targeted at, people who want durability. What's lovely about the X7C and X9C is, they're both incredibly affordable, but they're also incredibly durable. Like I've used the 9C. I've had my nephew, who's 6 years old, or 6.5, and literally gave him one of the devices and said to him, "Try and break this." And if you ever tell a toddler to try and break something, that's what they're going to try and do. And every single day for a couple of months, he did everything from throwing his phone down the stairs, out the window. They've driven over the phone as well. I've thrown the X9C downstairs, face first on tar. I've even used it to hammer a nail into a piece of wood. No scratches, no breaks on the glass. And I think it's such a unusual thing because if you think about it, we're also afraid of dropping our phones, and it's such a big investment, such a personal device. So when you have something that is what I call life proof, I think it just gives you that sort of peace of mind. And that I think really is the biggest thing about these devices. It's giving you peace of mind.
I agree 100%, especially when the other tech phones and like Samsung and iPhone are so expensive. The minute you drop them, constant break there. It's a big thing to actually take in consideration when buying a new cell phone. And with all the buzz surrounding Honor's new releases, it's easy to forget Samsung's recent product launch. Can you offer your perspective on the new devices? Did anything catch your eye, catch your attention, I would say?
Yes, I was actually at Unpacked with Samsung South Africa, and it was a very muted event, I think. I mean, the event itself was lovely, but I think the sort of consensus from a lot of the media, a lot of the people attending it, even I think internationally, if you look at a lot of the sort of initial feelings about it, is this may not have been the most exciting year for Samsung. And it's not because they make bad hardware. We know, they're king of Android for a reason. It just feels like there's not as much hardware innovation, but that I think also speaks to what you're going to be seeing from a lot of the sort of more incumbent brands within tech, where the shift has now changed away from hardware innovation to software. AI is the driving force, and it really was what was on Showcase and Unpacked. And it really what it feels like is they're trying to create a device where you can just speak to it, have a natural conversation, and it can do things. I think the real sort of question is how successful are they going to be with this? Because these demos are wonderful. Real world is, never quite live up to those ideal things. But I think the sort of thing that stood out to me was there was an example that they showed where someone spoke to the phone and they needed this phone. Essentially, it was using 3 or 4 different apps: calendar, this, that, a few other things. One natural language command. I need to book a table for this, that. This time, whatever, with my friend so and so. And just by speaking to the phone, it did everything for them. It does the booking, puts it in your calendar, lets your friend know. And these are multiple apps all working together. All you have to do is speak to it. Now, that I think is incredible if it works like that in real life.
I would agree. That's a big innovation actually to have because of judging by all of the new things like ChatGPT and also with its new competitor now DeepSeek. I'm sure you've heard about it as well coming into play. So the cell phone industry is abrupt in that form of demand, I would say, for AI being incorporated, especially. And what advice would you have for the consumers looking to upgrade their phones this year? How would they evaluate the options and make informed decisions?
I actually just finished writing a piece about this recently, and I think this is going to be a very interesting year, especially in South Africa. I think there's a few things you need to take into consideration. A lot of these reviews that I think the people are watching on YouTube, reading online, are coming from the US sort of audience or the US market. And they don't have the same devices we have over here. Honor is a great example. Huawei is another one. You can't get those in the US. So I think you need to look at your local sources first to see what's actually available and what your options are. And I think the other thing is, as much as a brand like Samsung, even iPhone are great brands, there's a big amount of competition from the Chinese market. Last year I was in Germany for IFA, one of the big tech shows, and the Chinese stands were pride of place. Everybody was flocking to them instead of going to Google, instead of going to Samsung, instead of going to LG. And you can see that with the devices that they're making. We just spoke about Honor. Honor announced last year that their new flagship, the Honor Magic 7 Pro, would be coming to South Africa this year. This is a device that I know firsthand has pretty much the same or similar specs to the S25 Ultra. Same AI features, faster charging battery, more battery power, and we're expecting it to undercut the price of what Samsung's offering when it comes to the country. So you're getting same quality, better specs in certain places for a lower price. I think that's what you need to look at. I don't think it needs to be the usual sort of brands we've all gone for before. I think you've got to look for the newer ones now because there's a lot of them who are working really hard to prove to consumers why they should be the brand that gets your money.
I agree 100%. It's just obviously taking your attention away from what's the hype and the buzz and everything that kids and all of these people try and make that iPhone and Samsung is the phone, but like you're saying, there's other phones out there that are much more better. And if you just take the time to give it a try, I think it's actually very good. Apart from smartphones, what other tech gadgets and innovations should we keep an eye out for this year, actually?
It's an interesting year. Last year we were talking about wearables, so smart rings were the big thing. Those are not going away. You'll still see a lot of those. But this year the focus really seems to be on visual. So essentially putting a computer on your face. Last year was Apple's attempt at Vision Pro, which maybe didn't quite work out the way they wanted it to. But Samsung announced something with Google, and I think you're going to see a lot more augmented reality, mixed reality glasses coming. So I think those in terms of gadgets and innovations. But I think if you're moving away from hardware, there's some interesting things being done with AI, moving beyond what we've seen. So agentic AI, where, the AI can take action on your behalf, but also, things like using AI in businesses in ways we've never seen it before. So companies like Cisco, for example, are doing things where working with contact centers. Let's say you bought something online, you need to contact customer service. No one likes doing that. I mean, I certainly don't. And I've worked customer service like that, so I know what it can be like. They can now use AI to sort of build a profile saying, oh, you shopped with us X amount of times, these are your habits, this is probably why you're contacting, and get you through to the person who needs, who can help you as soon as possible, or just have the AI system do it for you. So there's things like that. There's things like, you go to the office, you've got a meeting, and the meeting room can hold, say, 18 people, but there's only 3 of you. It can, AI can be used to sort of switch off lights, mics, things that you don't need because you're not at full capacity in the room. So you're saving energy, you're saving costs. But I think also the big thing for this year, you mentioned, things like DeepSeek, ChatGPT, all of those sort of things. AI has become such a big part of life. But the thing we haven't spoken about, and I think you're going to see a lot of this year, is security when it comes to AI. We've got to look at how are we securing the data that's being used, and the potential of these things. So again, companies like Cisco are doing a lot of work with that. So I think we're going to see a lot of evolution of AI, and I think we're going to see a lot of sort of movement on mixed reality and augmented reality. Things like glasses and even wearables where they can do live translations.
No, I agree 100%. That is actually very insightful to hear. Like, all of these industries are coming out with so many different tech things, and we don't even know where to look. I mean, such a buzz and a hype that we can't even keep up anymore. But thank you so much, Brendon, for your time. It was really lovely having you today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Sure. That was Brendon Peterson. Thank you so much. We're going to do an ad break.